Hello everyone. Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In today's is .NET and here is we'll be talking about what is .NET and here are some of the concepts we'll be covering. Here are some of the .NET. First one is this is the table of contents. The first one is introduction to .NET. The second one is explaining complex terms. Then the third, what are LTS and STS? LTS stands for long-term support. STS stands for standard term support. And the fourth one is what you can build with .NET. The fifth, .NET and the .NET framework. The difference is because many a time in the industry, many people mix these two terms together when they are actually different. They have different versions. So it's handy not to forget the differences between the .NET and the .NET framework. And then where to learn more, I'll be sharing some resources of where to learn more, and I'll be concluding this. Then go on. The first part is introduction to .NET. What is .NET? .NET is a free, open source, and cross-platform development platform. So now let's break these terms down. We said .NET is a free, open source, and cross-platform development platform. The first part is .NET is free, which means it's the team at Microsoft. Yes, for starter, the team developing the .NET is the Microsoft is Microsoft. Yes, so they do not charge anything. You can honestly, whether it be the .NET 6, .NET 7, or .NET 8, these are various versions of .NET. Microsoft wouldn't charge you a dime for making use of their .NET. Now moving on, let us now look at the other part. Definition. The definition says .NET is a free open source and cross-platform is a free open source and cross-platform development platform. Yes. So now we've treated the free, which means that Microsoft won't charge you a dime for using the .NET framework or the .NET itself. And then let's now move on to the next one, which is and STS stands for. When we look at the terms LTS and STS, LTS stands for long-term support and STS stands for short-term support. STS, this is short for standard term support. STS releases of .NET SDK are supported for 18 months before they become end of support. Some examples are the .NET 5 and the .NET 7. For an advice coming from my own side, I would advise that .NET, any .NET that is LTS, and I think it's after every 2 years that they make LTS softwares. If you look back, the .NET 6 is an LTS. The .NET 8 is also an LTS. .NET 7, which came out last year, was not an LTS, it was an STS. So after it, the first 18 months, it becomes an end of support. While on the other hand, and the LTS now, which is short for long-term support, is supported for 3 years before they become end of support. Some examples are .NET 6 and the .NET 8. Now let's get back to our definition, which says .NET is cross-platform, which means it works on the Windows, it works on Linux, and it works on the Mac. Yes, that's pretty much. Whenever you hear the word cross-platform, it means .NET you can write .NET code and execute it on a Windows system, a Mac, a MacBook, or a Linux operating system. Yes, .NET is next. Moving on to the next. Here are the tools for .NET. You might be asking me now that okay, yes, you might be asking me now that okay, .NET is so great. Okay, what can I use in writing .NET? There is the first one, which is Visual Studio, and then the second one, which is Visual Studio Code. Please note the difference between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. One cheat sheet I'll just give you how to differentiate both of them is that Visual Studio is blue. Visual Studio is purple. It's while Visual Studio Code is the blue one. That's the difference I will just give it to you. The both of them are in they are IDEs, which is short for Integrated Development Environment, or SDK, Software Development Kits. And the both of them are very useful. And then the third one too, which you can also be writing .NET coding, is the JetBrains and Rider. So now let's continue. What you can build with .NET, almost anything and everything. Web apps and services for Mac OS. Mac OS is Mac operating system, and Windows, Linux, and Docker containers. Yes, you can build mobile and desktop apps with .NET. You can build cloud application softwares, which are very, very complex. You can build them with .NET. Microservices, you can also build them with .NET. Machine learning too, you can do a bit of machine learning with .NET. And Internet of Things And game development, yes. So game development, you can go through you in your programming journey, you can choose to become a game developer where you'll be working with tools like Unity. And Unity uses C Sharp and .NET. Yes, it uses C Sharp and .NET to write code to make your game move and for the physics of your game. Game development with .NET. The next one is differences between .NET and .NET framework. This is a very tricky part. Yes, this is a very tricky part. Many people confuse .NET as being the same thing as .NET framework. The cheat sheet I will just give you now as a little difference. We will still cover it up. I'll just give you now is that whenever you see a version that starts from .NET 5, .NET 6, .NET 7, .NET 8, .NET 9 will come out next year. .NET 8 was just released this year and it's an LTS. So whenever you see a version from 5 to like any version greater than 5, yes, any version greater than 5, like .NET 5, .NET 6, .NET 7, .NET 8, they are all .NET itself. But the .NET framework, on the other hand, is versions containing 4.8.1, 4.8.0, and the likes. They are backward versions. So whenever you see a version of .NET that's moving backwards towards the 4.8.1 was the highest. So if you say anything less than 4.8.1, like 4.7.9, you would know that this is a .NET framework. While the .NET itself, it started from .NET 5. .NET runs on Linux and macOS and Windows, yes. Its versions include .NET 6, .NET 7, .NET 8. It is open source and accepts contributions from .NET community. What is an open source code? An open source code is a code that is accessible for you and I. We can both access the code. We can both make pull requests for the particular code. They even advise their community, the .NET community, they advise that we make pull requests to change the direction of the .NET itself. It supports more application types and delivers higher performance. Yes, it supports more application types and delivers higher performance. And then it doesn't come with Windows operating system. Yes, the .NET would never come with a Windows operating system, unlike the .NET framework. That's another difference again between .NET and .NET framework. .NET framework would come with the Windows operating system, and it will be updated whenever you update your Windows, while the .NET is downloaded from the official Microsoft store, probably from the official Microsoft website. Highly recommended. And yes, .NET is highly recommended for new developments. So the next is, we've looked at .NET. Now let us now look at .NET framework. .NET framework runs only on Windows. A .NET framework can never run on a MacBook. A .NET framework can never run on a MacBook or on a Linux operating system. It only runs on Windows. Its versions include .NET 4.8.1 and other lower versions. So whenever you see .NET 4.8.1 or any other lower version to that, then you are basically talking about a .NET framework, not a .NET itself. The source code is available, but the developers do not accept contributions from community. Yes, the source code is available. It can easily be accessed by the Microsoft official GitHub page. You can access their code there, but they do not accept pull requests, in the sense that you cannot be a contributor to the project. They only perform security and reliability bug fixes only on a monthly basis. So every month they perform security and bug fixes. It comes with the Windows operating system and it's updated by Windows. Whenever your Windows is being updated, the .NET framework would also be updated if you add a .NET framework. Yes, and I wouldn't really recommend it for new developments, because the .NET itself covers multiple things like the machine learning, like the game development, while the framework is very limited. So I won't really recommend it for new developments. And yeah, now this is places you can learn more. You can learn more from our YouTube channel, yes, Codenas Studios, and you can learn more on the documentation. I'm an advocate of documentation. Documentations are very fun, not very fun, sure, but they are helpful places you can go to get more resources. And then the .NET official website, Microsoft has a tutorial for you on how you would install .NET, on how you would go step by step. So their official website can be really helpful. And then finally, thank you very much for staying to the end. You were a legend. I really appreciate it. And thank you.